Why do you keep going at Nikki Haley? Why do you think this is going to bear fruit?
Chris, I don't know what you've been smoking, man. You and the rest of the mainstream media. It's laughable. Nikki Haley's been going after me the whole campaign. First debate, second debate. You know, she's been trailing me for much of the time, but I realize the establishment media has realized that there's a puppet they want to put up. I'm not playing that game. The grassroots of this country know they want a leader who isn't going to send us, our sons and daughters, to go die in foreign wars that racked up $7 trillion in debt. Dick Cheney 2.0 is taking over the GOP. Problem is the Democratic establishment media is now rooting for war, too. I'm the only candidate speaking for a true America First agenda on that debate stage, and I think we're going to be successful.
Vivek, how are you going to bring people together when you just put together a tapestry of conspiracies? You know that I'm not pitching anything about
Chris,
Nikki Haley.
What are you talking about?
She won't even come on my show.
There's no tapestry.
She won't even come on my show.
Tapestry
what are you talking about, Pepe?
I'm sure she doesn't.
Hold on a second.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So, thankfully, we get to talk about Vivek absolutely crushing the mainstream liberal media right to the point where they completely lose their minds. And this time his victim is Chris Cuomo, who, in the spirit of full disclosure, guys, I got to tell you, I've actually come to really, really like Chris Cuomo ever since he broke with CNN. The dude has actually at least pretended to be pretty reasonable, pretty moderate, and just about everything I'm seeing him do. And he does pretty good work on his network. So there's that. But this time, he really is just kind of falling into line with what the rest of the media is doing and their push for Nikki Haley. And I'll get into all that in a second. But before we do, guys, thank you so much to everyone that's been subscribing, leaving such great comments. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't already, please help us to continue to grow and like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. So yeah, there really is a push for Nikki Haley. And a lot of it, in fact, probably all of it, has got to do with her stances on wars, on policy, on government spending, and even more important, her policies on government spending for wars. And here's a bonus for the media. She's a woman. And, you know, that doesn't mean that they actually care to see a woman take a leadership position. No, of course not. Don't be fooled. The benefit to them is that, you know, anytime anyone questions or challenges her, this person that they're deciding that they want to get behind, no matter how justified it is, they get to claim that it's sexist or sexism or misogynist or whatever evil, bad thing you want to say. They get to declare that's what it is. So even say, you know, one word against the new darling of the corrupt Republican establishment, and just remind yourself as you watch this, or anything, you know, when the interests of the liberal media and the RNC align, they're aligning against you. They're not aligning for you.
Ramaswamy, why do you keep going at Nikki Haley? Why do you think this is going to bear fruit?
Chris, I don't know what you've been smoking, man. You and the rest of the mainstream media. It's laughable. Nikki Haley's been going after me the whole campaign. First debate, second debate. You know, she's been trailing me for much of the time, but I realize the establishment media has realized that there's a puppet they want to put up. I'm not playing that game. The grassroots of this country know they want a leader who isn't going to send us, our sons and daughters, to go die in foreign wars that racked up $7 trillion in debt. Dick Cheney 2.0 is taking over the GOP. Problem is the Democratic establishment media is now rooting for war, too. I'm the only candidate speaking for a true America First agenda on that debate stage, and I think we're going to be successful.
Vivek, how are you going to bring people together when you just put together a tapestry of conspiracies? You know that I'm not pitching anything about
Chris,
Nikki Haley.
What are you
she won't even come on my
show.
show.
There's no tapestry.
She won't even come on my show.
Tapestry
what are you talking about, Pepe?
I'm sure she doesn't.
Hold on a second. I let you put it out there, and now, you know, I get to finish smoking, and now I get to answer, which is, this is what the media is doing, is putting up Nikki Haley against me because they know I'm the real deal. Please. She hasn't even been on my show. I'm just watching you get slapped around by her, and I'm wondering what your strategy is.
The fact of the matter is, Chris, my strategy is calling out the mainstream media like I did to Kristen Welker at the start of that debate.
So, guys, come on. Whether or not Nikki Haley will talk to Chris Cuomo, that doesn't change the fact that since the third Republican debate, not he or any other left-wing, left-leaning machine propagandist has actually gotten into talking about the accusations or any of the actual substance behind what Vivek said. You know, he brought up some pretty reasonable stuff. They don't want to talk anything about what he said, but they do want their mushy brain victims to be aware of the fact that just having said it is sexist, is misogynistic, and probably even somehow racist, even though they're both of Indian descent. They want to run cover and they want to protect Nikki Haley from any and all criticism, while also stressing the fact that she's a strong and capable woman who doesn't even need them to protect her, but they'll do it anyway, which is exactly what Chris Cuomo is doing here. And he won't address the attacks. He protects from the attacks. And at the same time, he's saying it's a conspiracy that the media would ever protect her. I mean, come on, you just can't make that stuff up.
Asked her about the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, told her to look the audience in the eye and apologize to them. Just like I'll tell you, you're part of the mainstream media despite pretending like you're not. Look the audience in the eye and tell how you covered for your brother for all that happened.
I'm part of the mainstream media.
Hey,
listen.
And you play the same games that the rest of the mainstream media does.
You don't want to take care of your family?
You're doing it tonight.
That's fine.
You have been covering for your brother. You have been playing a game. You were kicked off here at CNN.
Of course I help my brother. Of course I do.
And you know what? That's been journalistic standards that have now been failed, not just by you, but by every member of the broken political media. So yes, it is going to take an outsider to call it out. And you want to look
everyone in the media is responsible for covering for my brother? See what I'm saying?
90%.
You miss
90% of the media is colluding with respect to pushing one answer
Vivek,
on the American public for the origin of COVID-19,
which is what?
To the Hunter Biden laptop story, to now which people they decide they want to put up as their puppets to take on Donald Trump. And that's just the fact of the matter.
Look, Vivek, you can talk a lot.
What has to do with it is that mainstream media is setting the terms of the actual debates in this country.
So, all right, I apologize. It's a little hard to follow with them both talking over each other. And yes, Chris, covering for your brother and using your position as state propagandist to do it, that was very wrong, man. That was the opposite of journalistic integrity. And, it's just one of the main reasons you're now on a network that a lot of people don't even know that they get in their budget cable package. The guy really does think that he can just say, you're not saying anything, and it's going to squeak by the viewer, and they're just going to agree. But the problem is, anyone who's actually paying even a tiny, tiny bit of attention, they understand, not just how articulate Vivek is, but they actually understand what he's articulating. And the guy is correct. He is 100% absolutely correct. He's saying everything. And, this guy he's not the average politician just talking in vague BS. He has an agenda. He has a plan. And he speaks just about as clear as humanly possible about his agenda and about his plan. All he's saying here is that the entirety of the mainstream media machine colludes to push the establishment agenda. The people that the machine feeds to the public are always and will always be the establishment.
Okay? You can talk a lot, but not necessarily be saying anything that's worthwhile.
You would know a lot
Here's
about
my
that,
simple
Chris.
question.
I've been listening to you, and I think that you're a good example of that.
Nikki Haley keeps kicking your ass in these debates. Why
according
go
to the left-wing media,
pick someone else?
Chris, give me a freaking break. You turn on social media, you understand. People should watch that debate. I went to New Hampshire. People were laughing at the idea of the mainstream media's coverage of the New York Times columnists and people like you who belong there with one narrative because you have some identity politic vision of what you think a leader of this country should look like.
Nikki Haley
when in fact
is
the
my
grassroots
Trojan
of this
horse?
country understand. Well, the fact of the matter is you guys have made a career out of deciding that the America First agenda is not the future of this country. Kick that out of the Republican Party. Put a genteel version that you can control as your little puppet so American politics looks the way you want it to.
Wow. I mean, just look at Chris Cuomo's face here, man. How is that for Vivek not speaking clearly? No, she's not a Trojan horse. You hope that she loses, but you want her to lose to Joe. You can't possibly take the risk of someone like her, someone you can control, someone you can deal with, losing to someone like Vivek, who you can't, before you have a chance to destroy her after the primaries.
And yes, many people, you know what? We don't need a Republican Party leader who itself is a wholly owned subsidiary of Boeing, which itself is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Democratic Party, masquerading as a Republican.
Vivek,
so I do think that the real
she is beating you in the polls.
Is a problem.
There's a problem
for the last 6 weeks, and before that, it was the next 6 months before that. The fact of the matter is, we got one front runner in this race who's 60 points ahead of everybody. That's Donald Trump, and we should talk about how we're going to actually have a different leader. The change I'm going to figure out is
you're
this.
You're not going to have a leader if he wants to be the guy.
In the GOP.
He'll be the guy.
Well,
yeah, but all you're doing is playing to the divide, Vivek. You're not bringing anybody
Chris,
together.
I'm not playing to the divide.
Trying to
I'm
bridge
actually
any
playing
gap.
to... Nobody's reaching.
You're
Chris,
playing a
Chris,
baby Trump game.
what the point of your actual interview is if you're not actually interested in getting answers
It's to
hard
say,
questions.
stop
Here's the
being
answer.
negative
Chris,
and attacking people.
And that is exactly what Vivek is offering. He is offering no new wars, no blank check, endless involvement in current wars, no more neocon establishment uniparty policies. That's exactly what he's offering. That's exactly what he's saying. And the only people he is attacking are the ones who would offer more of the same. And as he should, as we all should. You know, more of the same is finally getting to the critical mass where it really is not longer sustainable. We cannot sustain it any longer. You know, Cuomo's just rattling through the standard talking points without even listening to Vivek. The guy's not even listening. You cannot listen to the guy's ideas and solution and then answer them by saying you're not offering any ideas or solutions. It's just not serious. We've got to stop taking people like this seriously.
And offer something to people
Chris,
that's
positive
and that promotes something.
I am offering, if across this country, the grassroots of this country, we are offering a vision of what we stand for as Americans. Nobody's reaching young people in this race like I am. I've been to more college campuses than any Republican in the history of our party, bringing in young people in droves. 40% of the 100,000 plus, 150,000 plus donors that have come into this campaign are first-time ever donors to the GOP.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.
So there that is, man. Obviously, the media apparatus does not like being called out. They never have. They don't like being challenged. And really, they don't like it because they haven't honestly learned how to deal with it. You know, they don't know how to deal with it because they never get held accountable. It's impossible to hold them accountable, especially not by Republicans. You know, historically, Republicans are terrified of the liberal media. There are very few Republicans that will ever call out the media to their faces, you know, will ever call them out for being disingenuous or intellectually corrupt. And I can honestly really only think of two. And I'm sure you guys can think of the same too. Let me know in the comments. But those two will do it every time. And, you know, sure, there are some that will push back from time to time here and there, but only Vivek and only Donald Trump will do it every single time. A big surprise. Both of them are public enemy number one when it comes to the establishment and the media. Honestly, for those of us that haven't woken up yet, maybe that should tell us something. But anyway, guys, that's just my take. Let me know your take in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.